Ladies and gentlemen, the charts currently stand as this, okay? Bitcoin's intact, altcoins are still intact, but that can change at literally any moment for altcoins. Bitcoin has breathing room. We've discussed all of this before. I apologize for repeating myself. I have to do it. Unfortunately, this is just a matter that needs to be addressed daily until it is resolved, and there's really no other charts to look at other than the charts I've already looked at. But fundamentally, the conclusion remains the same. Bitcoin is intact. Bitcoin has room to move downwards. Bitcoin can go downwards to around 61,000. That is fine. It wouldn't be good because it means altcoins get dragged below their invalidation zones, but it would be okay for Bitcoin. You might be wondering, well, why do you say 61,000? Well, there's a few reasons for that, a few indicators I'm looking at, such as the pi cycle center lines, the green level right here at 61K currently, bull market support band, volume profile. There's many regions. There's a 13-year-long ascending support line that's around that region right now. All of these levels led to the bottom at 57K as a justified deviation below the macro support zone at 61. They have now moved upwards because they're dynamic indicators. They've moved upwards to 61K. So Bitcoin can move downwards further. We've addressed this many times. 7 days ago, I actually started posting content about Bitcoin and altcoins more specifically, and I said, hey guys, this is looking a bit concerning now. I saw the double top formation here, and I started getting a little bit concerned, and people called me an idiot. They called me a fudder, but obviously I don't pay attention to anything like that because we actually did end up going downwards, and Bitcoin hasn't been downwards that much, but it broke below a support zone right here, and we're struggling to get back above it. It's altcoins that have taken the dramatic kind of hit, and you can see in the last 2 weeks, basically, or 10 days, altcoins are downwards 20%, okay? The altcoin market cap is down 20%, which means your altcoins are downwards anywhere from 15 to 40%, okay? I know some altcoins such as ZRX, such as Gala, all these kind of coins, they're down 60% right now, okay? So altcoins have been absolutely decimated. And there was a very good reason why I was concerned, and here's the reason, okay? But what are we looking at right now, okay? Because I just told you that basically Bitcoin is in an okay macro position. Alts aren't. Altcoins need to bottom basically here. And we looked at this yesterday, but I'm going to look at it again today, and then I'll get into the invalidation levels that we talked about yesterday and what's happened since then and what's changing now, okay? So we'll get to everything in due time here. I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. There is a 5-step pattern on altcoins. It played out perfectly in the last cycle. You can see step 1 being bottoming out, all the way to step 5 being a parabolic bull market. Step 4 is the last phase before the parabolic bull market. It's the final consolidation. And during step 4, we retest things like the pi cycle center lines, and we retest things like an ascending RSI weekly chart line. We are seeing step 4 playing out again right now. We're on step 4 currently. We are retesting the same levels, and in fact, we're threatening to break below them. You can see on the chart right here, the RSI level is actually broken, but that's not a confirmed break because we haven't seen the weekly candle close yet. On the last weekly candle close, we actually managed to hold on to that level. So, a lot of things are occurring here, but fundamentally, again, you can see we're hovering below that RSI level. It's not a confirmed break, but we are hovering below it. The same can be said about the pi cycle lines. It's not a confirmed break, but we're hovering below them, meaning that altcoins have to go up here. They cannot close in this region. If we close in this region, we destroy the macro structure. We close in this region, to clarify, we destroy the 5-step pattern, okay? That is the very same 5-step pattern that is allowing us to predict that the next step, step 5, will be a parabolic bull market with an altcoin season. If we go down here, we destroy these trends, okay? We don't have that pattern anymore, which means we have no basis to claim that there's going to be a parabolic bull market with an altcoin season on altcoins, okay? Now, there would still be a basis to claim that about Bitcoin, but it's very important to note that Bitcoin and altcoins aren't the same thing, okay? And during bull markets, historically, altcoin seasons have occurred. That's the part that's being challenged right now, the altcoin season, altcoin power, right? It is conceivable that we could see a bull market where Bitcoin and a very small select few of altcoins see the bull market and the rest get left behind. That is conceivable. We can actually imagine that quite clearly. It hasn't happened yet, never happened before. So it's hard to think of, but it is possible. Why wouldn't it be possible? Okay, you see the same thing in the stock market all the time. You see leading stocks go upwards, or certain stocks go upwards, and other ones enter bear markets. Okay, it's not unreasonable to assume that could be the case, especially if we're going to be deviating from something like the 4-year cycle and the macro trends that pertain it, which include the macro trend of the 5-step pattern right here. But before we get too stuck on hypotheticals, okay, let's actually break the trend first, because it's not broken yet. And the trend is your friend until it ends, and it hasn't ended yet, which means currently I'm assuming it's going to be maintained because I have to. Trend is your friend until it ends. That's how we run this channel, okay? And that's what's led us to be extremely profitable over the last 2.5 years of analysis. In fact, 3 years of analysis now. In fact, 3.5 years of analysis now. And you can check our track record. It's on the homepage. But right now, what do we need to be watching? Well, I told you yesterday, very clearly yesterday, I said this green line, the pi cycle line, there's a fundamental part of step 4 needs to hold. It broke, unfortunately, but I was looking at other things as well. I was looking at this horizontal level on the total 3, which is the $613 billion support level, acted as support on multiple daily candle closes. We luckily closed above that level. So although we broke down from the pi cycle line, we managed to close above this level here. We are now in an unconfirmed daily candle close, and we are threatening to break down below that level as well. So what am I looking at, okay? Well, I don't think daily candle closes are enough to invalidate this macro trend. I think we need to see something more significant. And so what I think we need to be seeing to invalidate this macro trend, which I don't want to happen, and I don't, you know, I'm not primed to believe the charts say that's going to occur. But what we need to be seeing in order to invalidate it, if it's going to be invalidated, this is what needs to happen to confirm that invalidation, is what I'm saying. We need to be seeing a breakdown from this diagonal ascending support line right here. Okay, this one right here, actually, it's drawn from the 9th of October, the 9th of November. So this one right here, that is the ascending support line roughly that needs to be breaking down to confirm this is over. I'm on the logarithmic chart, which makes sense. That's why it's not lining up. That's why I was a little bit confused there. Anyway, that line right there basically needs to be breaking downwards in order to confirm this proper structural breakdown. Either that, or we need to be seeing a weekly candle close below the pi cycle level, okay? Because we've never seen that before ever. So if either one of those two things occur, the macro trend is broken and altcoins get thrown in the dark. Now, what do I mean by thrown in the dark? I mean that they are shrouded by mystery. I don't mean that they enter a bear market necessarily. I mean that they enter a period of time where they have no macro trends to support claims about altcoins. So, for example, the reason why we've been confident that there's going to be an altcoin season with the parabolic bull market is because we have this 5-step trend, which tells us that's going to occur. If this 5-step trend breaks, we don't have the confidence anymore because our basis for that confidence goes away. So we enter a period of time where altcoin investing becomes more like gambling rather than investing. And that's a very dangerous period of time. We don't want to be entering that. So again, my confirmations for breaking down, if we are going to do so, weekly close below the green level here on the pi cycle, or a breakdown, a normal structural breakdown from this ascending yellow support line. If either of those two things occur, that's very, very bad news. Now, in order to avoid those two things, what do we need to be doing on Bitcoin? In order to avoid those two things, I think that Bitcoin needs to have placed the low. I don't think we can go below 64.5K. Bitcoin has this triangle formation here. It briefly went below the triangle formation to form a slight deviation wick to 64.5K, 64.5K being an important support zone in this range. It's a support zone we actually originally mentioned back here when I first started talking about this and sounding the alarm. So it's actually something I mentioned straight away off the bat. And I'm not surprised we've tested it. But now that we have tested it, I look at the charts and I think we can't go lower than that because altcoins with that 64.5K retest on Bitcoin tested their important support line that I am seeing as one of the breaker points for its trend. So basically, altcoin market cap can't go lower than it already went, basically, not for any sustained period of time, and Bitcoin certainly can't either. So right now, in order for altcoins to be okay, in order for altcoins to maintain the macro trend, in order for altcoins to be in a decent position, we cannot see the market go lower than what it's already been. For any sustained period of time. It can be a scam wick. Scam wicks happen, especially in these kind of market environments. You see liquidation wicks lasting a few hours. Okay, that's not unheard of. But for any sustained price action, we can't be seeing it. Right now, very clear, very, very clear. Let's be very, very clear. Right, if the altcoin market breaks down, if the total cryptocurrency market cap, the altcoin market cap breaks down, that does not mean it's over for Bitcoin. It just means that altcoins are shrouded in mystery. I would be highly surprised, quite frankly, if we did not enter some sort of bullish rally on Bitcoin at some point, given the macroeconomic situation and the trajectory of traditional markets. I think that for crypto to enter a bear market here would be completely abnormal and absurd, quite frankly. I just wouldn't see how that would happen. So Bitcoin's still intact for the time being. Altcoins are testing their critical levels. They need to be holding on to them. The low that's been placed right now basically has to be the low, minus the possibility for a small scam wick. I don't see how the chart could go any lower. and altcoins could remain healthy or remain within their macro trends. It just wouldn't make much sense to me at all. Now, let's talk about the bullish scenario, okay? What would the markets need to do to get back on track? What would the markets need to do to get back in a very confident, very powerful position? Quite simply, we would need to be seeing Bitcoin breaking this triangle formation and flipping 67.2K. If we break this triangle formation and flip this level, 67.2K, which is a level that acted as resistance for 1.5 months over here and acted as support for a month full straight right over here. So collective 2.5 months of major bounces and rejections from that level. If we break our triangle and get back above that level, that would be the first sign that the bulls are regaining strength. And if that occurs, we would likely be breaking this kind of daily chart RSI descending resistance line as well, which again would further validate that breakout. So that's what we need to be seeing to get in a position of strength once again. And obviously, if we see that, altcoins would likely follow. So that's what we need to be seeing to get in a position of strength. And what we need to be avoiding, I've made very clear in this video, breaking down below this yellow line, this ascending yellow line, we need to avoid that at all costs. We need to avoid a weekly candle close below this green price cycle center line. We need to avoid those things in order to avoid kind of altcoins breaking their macro trends. I apologize for repeating myself over and over again. It's just very, very important. I want you guys to understand it fully. So guys, right now, things are still intact, but we're on very, very thin ice here. Very, very thin ice. And I have heard of people, in my comment section saying I've sold everything. That's what they say in the comment section. I've sold everything, Wolf. I'm out of the market. I personally think it's a little bit preemptive to have sold everything. I personally have de-risked. Okay, I've cut some altcoins out of my portfolio. I've done some culling that I think ones that have gone down below their bear market support levels that just have no chance of recovering once we go upwards. There's certain altcoins, in the market right now during this drop that have gone downwards below bear market levels. And that's a clear sign of permanent death in my opinion. So I've culled some of those coins. I've certainly de-risked, but I haven't sold everything. I certainly haven't sold my Bitcoin, and I certainly haven't sold the majority of my altcoins here. I will wait for actual confirmation before I make major decisions. Don't make macro decisions based on short-term price action. That's a key point. But yeah, again, look, if you have de-risked, if for some reason during your personal situation you couldn't take the downside price action, you couldn't take the loss, if you have kind of cut your losses or cut your wins, whatever, depending on where you bought, fair enough. I understand why you would do it. I just don't think the charting confirmation was there. You can always buy back when the market goes up again. And at the end of the day, if you are really, really stressing, you can't sleep, you can't eat, yeah, look, you can technically cut your losses here and buy back if the market recovers. And if Bitcoin flips 72K, if altcoins maintain their levels, cool, you can buy back then at a slightly higher price. That's always an option you could take, and that's an option that a lot of people I know are taking. I'm not sitting here saying the market is ultra strong and bullish right now. It's not. The charts look terrible. But right now, the macro trends are still intact. And if we're going to make if we're going to make macro decisions based on short-term price action, you're not going to get very far, okay? Because people who do that always come out at the bottom of the barrel. You have to make macro decisions based on macro price action. And currently the macro is still the same. So currently I'm still macro bullish. I'm certainly macro bullish on Bitcoin, regardless of any of this stuff. And in altcoins, I actually do remain macro bullish until that is invalidated. But just to kind of back up and clarify here, the Bitcoin market, regardless of what happens to altcoins here, I think is in a good position. And I maintain that. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead and check out the VIP group on Telegram. We trade altcoins 4 to 5 times a week. We have a group chat that you can discuss the market 24/7 with other members. 77.51% win rate on our trading signals over the course of 18 months. Very good stuff. Check it out if you're interested in that. We've got 3 exchanges here. You can find their links below, and with those links are my referral links. So clicking on the links below in the description or the pinned comment will get you to the sign up page. On the sign up page, my referral code will already be inputted for you if you click those links. And with my referral code, you get a 15% trading fee discount for life on either on these exchanges. So literally 15% off trading fees forever on every single buy and sell just by signing up with my link. Helps me and helps you. So go ahead and check it out if you're interested. And then finally, the Crypto Academy's Become a Trader bull market sale. Limited price for a limited time here, or a discounted price for a limited time, I should say. If you want to read up about that course, it's an educational course teaching people how to trade. Check it out. Just one more note about the exchanges I don't think I mentioned. These exchanges are very low in trading fees, okay? And they've never been hacked before. So those are your reasons for signing up to them. Get on a good exchange and get a discount with my links. Guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you tomorrow. Cheers.